Hi folks, John from Designed Elegance Pastry Shop here. Hope you're doing well. I'm doing really good. So for today's lesson, I want to make frangipane cake batter. And we're going to take that cake batter and we are going to bake some nice thin layers of frangipane. And then we are going to take those layers and we're going to put them together so that we can then make Petit Fours. So let's get started. We're going to start with, this is a very simple recipe. The only ingredients are almond paste, sugar, butter, eggs, and flour. Okay, so now this is 8 ounces of almond paste going in the bowl right here. This is how it looks in the grocery store. This is 8 ounces. We need 2 of these. So basically these come nice and tight. This is very expensive stuff, but of course it's worth it because it's so delicious. Okay, so we now have 1 pound of almond paste in the bowl. Now we need 1 pound of sugar, granulated sugar. Now, 1 cup of sugar is actually exactly 8 ounces. So we're just going to take 2 of these guys. Okay, one was a little shy, so this will be a little heavy. So that's 1 pound of sugar. Okay. And then we need 1 pound of butter. Okay, but what I'm going to do is I'm going to start with 2 of these sticks of butter. And I'm going to save the other 2 for after the almond paste gets smoothed out a little bit. So, now all these items are at room temperature, by the way. Okay. So, we'll drop the bowl down. Okay, now we have the paddle on here. I'm going to start gentle at first. Okay. Now this is going to take a few minutes to break up. What we're looking for is for the almond paste to become smooth. Okay. See how it's clumping together? It's becoming all one big piece. That's what we're looking for. Okay. I'm going to stop it right there. And I want to scrape this so that what's on top and what's down on the bottom all get mixed in evenly and properly.
John, too bad they don't have smell of it.
Yeah, it smells awfully
really
delicious, doesn't it? Yes, it really does. Well, it's, you know, pure almond paste. Almond paste, butter, and sugar. I mean, you know, you can't go wrong with that. Okay, let's give this another quick spin. Okay, now see how smooth that is? See how it's actually starting to cream together? You don't see any lumps or anything. And I'll show you what I mean here. Okay, if you were to just smooth that out like so. See these little dark speckles? That's about the most specks or chunks you're going to have. And that's so minuscule that you can't even really, that's going to feel smooth on the tongue anyway. So, all right, so let's keep it going. And now's a good time to add the other 2 sticks because we've smoothed out the chunks of almond paste properly. One. Like I said, this butter is at room temperature, so it's nice and soft, but it's not you know, gooey or squishy or melty. Okay, so this is creaming together beautifully like that. See how easily that last of that butter mixes right in. Okay. All right. So now we want to, again, scrape. You can't scrape too many times with this batter.
Probably sticks a lot.
What's that?
It probably sticks quite a bit.
Oh yeah, it does. It's very sticky. Okay. Put that in there. Okay, now, before I forget, oh, also, by the way, the butter that I used was salted butter, okay? And if you're using unsalted butter right now, I would be asking you to take a teaspoon of salt, put it in, but because I use the salted butter, I don't worry about that. As for the almond extract, you know, just to give it a little more almond kick, I'm gonna, you know, use my usual half a cap, put it right in there, and there we go. Okay, so now this is mixing nice and slow. Now, I'm gonna use 10 eggs in this batter. Okay, I have my 10 eggs. Here's one. You let them mix in nice and slow. See, now if I just take my time and do this nice and gradually, by the time I get the one done, first one's fairly mixed in. There we go. Okay, now before I put too many eggs in, I'm gonna just give this a little scrape around the top here. Let that all fall in. And look at that. Notice how smoothed out that all of a sudden became. Okay. One by one. Now these eggs are cold, by the way. So by adding cold eggs, we're helping the creaming process. If they were warm, they would just mix right in and they wouldn't help fluff the batter at all. Okay, so by adding the cold eggs, the batter is actually still fluffing a bit. Now, in a past video I mentioned baking soda and baking powder, where baking soda makes things spread, baking powder makes things rise. Eggs are also a leavening agent, and they make things both spread and rise. So that's why we want to make sure that we put eggs in, and they also add moisture too. Okay, so just two left. Look, you can hardly even tell I've been putting any eggs in there. See how they're just mixing in nice and slow. And get this last one in there. Okay. See how nice and smooth that looks? But you can tell that it's not as eggy right up here. So we need to get that down in. Okay. And now's a good time to just lift this right up and get all the way right down to the bottom, just to be sure. Okay. See how the egg hasn't really penetrated all the way down to the very bottom. This is more butter and almond paste and sugar because it's lighter. See, you can tell where the egg is because of the coloring now. Okay, let's give this another nice mix. Okay. All right. Now, we don't want to overmix this at this point. okay? Because if we do that, then it's actually going to break. So, and we don't want to do that. So at this point, we're going to stop it. I want to lift this up, and what I'm going to do is make myself a little well, okay? Now, we're going to take 2 cups, 1 even, and then 1 that's going to be slightly heaped, like so.